What's something that has disappeared over the last decade that you wish hasn't? Written game guides on sites like GameFAQs. YouTube video with the creator spending more time on their sponsor, stupid antics, their opinion of the game, and how this feature fits into other features. Everything that's wrong with this feature, etc. Seriously, I just want to know how to do XYZ in a game. I don't need to know where to do XYZ, or how to make the most money EXP doing it, or how another game does it better or worse. Gen Z's ability to have dreams, everything other generations have dreamed of and achieved: buying one's own house, having a large family, being able to not have roommates at 30, etc., are all things that Gen Z cannot even afford to wish for anymore. A few years ago, if you asked me what my biggest dream was, it was to own a house before 30. Now if you ask me, it's to own a house at any point in my life at all. And even saying that I know it will likely never happen, at least not until I'm retirement age. I miss having dreams for a happy future. Toys R Us. I am parent with older kids. My kids were just aging out of Toys R Us when it closed. I know it is kind of making a comeback, but it is not the same. Feel bad for kids today. Kids don't really get online shopping. They like tangible aspect of shopping. Second, maybe more of a Midwest USA thing. The closing of Carson's Bergner's Boston. They were one of the stores that kept malls open. As a big and tall guy, they gave competition to DXL because of their reasonable prices. Dude, physical releases for media. One of my favorite gaming memories is the Halo 3 release in my small town games. We had like 400 people pick the game up at midnight. It was a ridiculous hype party with a bunch of people with the same interests gathered together, chatting. You don't get the same thing with digital release. There are benefits to a digital release as well. Dang, I missed the release night hype that came with blockbuster games releases. Dude, physical releases for media. One of my favorite gaming memories is the Halo 3 release in my small town games. We had like 400 people pick the game up at midnight. It was a ridiculous hype party with a bunch of people with the same interests gathered together, chatting. You don't get the same thing with digital release. There are benefits to a digital release as well. Dang, I missed the release night hype that came with blockbuster games releases. Black Friday being a thing. There used to be great sales on Black Friday. It used to be a tradition to go out shopping on that day. I went out last year and the mall and stores were pretty dead. Chicago suburbs. I know it is not for everyone, but it is one of those events that mark the passing of time of for many, like my Silhouette too. Reconnect with old friends for a traditional event. 16 once bags of chocolate chips. Shrinkflation is ruining recipes. Recipes call for a 16 ounces bag. Lots of other cooking ingredients were sold in a common size that was used in recipes. Now those common sizes are gone. Having a few less chips in your cookies isn't devastating, but it still sucks. I'm sure there are other recipes where the smaller available will completely ruin the recipe. Family-appropriate diners that are not part of a chain. I like Cracker Barrel chicken fried steak, but it exactly the same and the dining room exactly the same in California, Texas, or Kansas anymore. If I'm in a different part of the country on vacation and recognize the restaurant, I will drive right past. I already had the Italian garden chicken soup experience. Thank you. Manager, I decided you do not miss those days. The amount of work to put ACD in a box and manage logistics too, get from production to warehouses and into stores and on shelves was ridiculously expensive. For example, if we were selling a game for $40, we were lucky to see $5 per unit. That same game sold digitally on Steam earned us $30. An avid Sims for player, and it why better when they couldn't release half-done games, stating that they could work on the issues later and release a patch. It's underwhelming, the decadency in quality. Good Cartoons Network. Nowadays it all just is Teen Titans Go and other stupid stuff. The only good thing they really play now is Craig of the Creek. I want something fun that I can laugh at, like The Amazing World of Gumball, or something action why like Batman the Animated Series or the real Teen Titans. I miss when good shows were on air. top-loading washing machines and appliances that are mechanical rather than relying on computer motherboards costing as much as the appliance's regional price. It's almost better to just purchase a new appliance than replace a major electronic part such as a controller circuit board. They certainly don't make things like they used to. It's been longer than a decade, but civil rights and the power of the Constitution pretend entire amendments don't exist, or only exist when politically convenient. And in one way or another, every generation is perfectly fine with it if it's their team shitting on the Constitution. Radio Shack, or for fun, involving any kind of electronics, and you find yourself needing some kind of weird little adapter or cable or whatever, and you have to order online and wait a couple days for it to arrive. I miss being able to drive 10 minutes and just grab whatever I need. Kids playing outside. It amazes me that in my area in the morning the school bus stops and picks up so many kids I didn't even know lived on our street. I know it's a different world with the technologies that we have, and to be honest with you, if we had that when we were younger, we'd be doing the same damn thing. Shows with filler downtime. I dislike a lot about modern TV practices, but way too many shows are just go now with no room to breathe. In seasons 40-75, as long as they used to, a filler episode occasionally, or less serious episodes were appreciated. Whenever I buy something that needs to be charged, it comes with a charging cord that plugs into the device, but the other end is just a USB. It doesn't come with its own block or any way to plug it into a real outlet, and it drives me nuts. Dinner at a restaurant without the sound of kids' games being played on iPads at the tables around me. I'm all for phones and devices, and I use the hell out of mine, but I'm possibly irrationally irritated by them in this context. The ability to disconnect ... God, do I hate having a phone some days. Being reachable and expected to answer 24/7 is stressing me the hell out. I can't ever relax. Because what if someone calls and it's important? Calling your friends who live in the same city as you just to talk. Extra OB. I feel like nitrogen monoxide. One calls friends just to talk anymore, and it's weird to do now. Most people give off just text me bro vibes. Movie theaters ... Every single one that was close by has closed. The closest one now is like 60 miles away. Also bowling alleys. Used to love going there after work for few games and a few beers. Robust cars. Newer models are increasingly complex in design, so that you cannot self-repair. Also throw in the rise of subscription models like Microsoft Excel is not a one-time buy. Not that there was much, but a little bit of class and respect in politics. The idea that our elected leaders and representatives hold respect for the offices they hold is all but gone. The chili cheese burrito as a staple on the Taco Bell menu. There are a few franchise stores that still have them. Lived on those things in college. I wish they would bring them back. Common sense. There are a lot of idiots out there that seem to love talking out their asses about topics they know absolutely nothing about, as if they're experts in the matter. I really miss video rental stores. There was something special about browsing the aisles for the perfect movie on a Friday night. It's just not the same with streaming. It may be more than a decade, but I miss actual donut shops. Low U-shaped counters, pad coffee, fresh-made donuts, and the classic lunch counter menu. Third places. Even when they do exist, it's so expensive. I can't afford a $10 coffee every day just to have somewhere other than my house to hang out. That trap music vibe you get when learning that life might be worth going past all the mistakes. Good needlepoint kits that don't cost an arm and leg, and your firstborn. I do have some of those, too. Thank all the gods and goddesses for eBay and self-conscious dancing in clubs. Now it's performative for or shamed by people with their dumb cell phones out, filming, ruining everything. So many local newspapers. I can access updated news online 24/7, but there's just something about holding a newspaper while reading it. Affordable breakfast. The place I used to go was cheap before COVID, like $78 for eggs, bacon, toast, coffee before 7:00 a.m. Large food portions at reasonable price. There seems to be an inverse relationship between the two now, and in the wrong direction. Bookstores. I know it's been a longer than a 10-year death, But for God's sake, bookstores should be a part of community health, people's ability to drive somewhat reasonably. It seems like since the pandemic people have become complete maniacs on the road. Filters and shame. The amount of cussing that goes on is too much. The clothes people wear are slobby, or slutty, no in between. Domino's double decadence crust to thin bases with a cheese herb sauce in between. Incredible if paired with a spicy topping. Dortmund's tea ring cookies. Ginseng Miracle One Day hair products for packs of clearly Canadian. Oh, and public civility. Were local buffets ever good? I miss all the different cuisines you could choose from when you didn't know what you wanted. Appropriate punishment. I feel like it's nothing but slap on the wrists now. People are getting away with too much now. Compromise. Win-win solutions, and being able to respect and peacefully coexist with people with different worldviews. Chalkboards in the classroom. Don't you miss the smell of the chalk and running your nails down the chalkboard? Kindness. Edit, not that it's completely disappeared, it's just significantly less than in the past, I feel. My pain tolerance. 0.10 years ago, 2014. Been having pain since 2016. Turns out it's ankylosing spondylitis. Intelligence. Morals and ethics, common sense, integrity, national versus party politics, compromise, ownership of things we pay for. It feels like I'm just paying subscription for everything nowadays. When calling customer service or any company for help questions, getting a real person right away. The ability to disagree with someone without them screaming the second they disagree with you. Maps at car rental counters. I went to 3 gas stations outside Lax. No maps there either.